Welcome, everyone. We're about to dive into good distribution practice. And believe me, it's so much more than just a set of rules. It's really the essential framework that protects every single medicine on its journey from the manufacturer all the way to the patient. And your role in this chain, well, it's not just important, it's absolutely critical. And this explainer is going to show you exactly why.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why. Why does GDP even exist? We'll look at the human cost that made it so necessary. Then we'll get crystal clear on what it is and who's responsible. After that, we'll dig into the core pillars that make the whole system work, and we'll finish up by zooming out to see how this is a truly global commitment.
To really understand the importance of these regulations, we have to start with the history. These aren't just bureaucratic rules somebody made up. They were forged in tragedy, created directly in response to some devastating events that showed just how fragile the supply chain can be.
This timeline teaches us a really critical lesson. You see, these weren't just isolated incidents. From a poisonous solvent used in manufacturing, to tragic birth defects, to deliberate tampering right on the store shelves. Each disaster exposed a completely different vulnerability. So the big takeaway was crystal clear. Patient safety isn't just about making a good product. It demands a secure, controlled process, from the moment that medicine is made until the moment it reaches a patient.
Okay, so keeping that really important historical context in mind, let's nail down a clear definition of good distribution practice and see what its specific role is in preventing things like this from ever happening again.
Right, here's the crucial distinction you need to remember. GDP is the quality system for everything that happens after a medicine is manufactured. Its entire purpose is to protect that product's integrity through every single link in the distribution chain. That means storage, transport, and handling, all the way to the endpoint.
And this is a fantastic way to think about the handover. Picture a relay race. Good manufacturing practice, or GMP, runs the first leg. They're focused on creating a perfect, high-quality product. Then GDP takes the baton, and its job is to make sure that quality isn't lost or compromised during the rest of the journey to the finish line, which is, of course, the patient.
So this leads us to a really vital question, especially for your training. Who exactly is on the hook for upholding these critical standards?
And the answer might surprise you. It's incredibly broad. See, compliance is a shared responsibility. This is not just a job for the quality control team. It applies to every single person who touches the product on its journey, from the warehouse staff who handle it, to the drivers who transport it, and yep, even the admin staff who process all the paperwork.
Now, inside this system, there's one specific role that carries the ultimate accountability, the responsible person, or RP for short. This is the individual who is legally designated to oversee the whole quality system and make sure that GDP principles are being followed to the letter right across the organization.
Okay, so how does this all actually work in practice? Let's break down the fundamental pillars that really form the structure of any GDP-compliant operation.
These 5 pillars are the very foundation of GDP. The best way to think about them is as an interconnected system. It all starts with a big picture quality management plan. That plan is carried out by trained personnel who are using the right premises and equipment, and all of it is proven through meticulous documentation and then maintained during transportation. Let's take a quick look at each one.
First up, we have the quality management system. You can basically think of this as the master blueprint for the entire operation. It clearly defines every single procedure. It spells out who is responsible for what, and it makes sure everyone is working from the same consistent, controlled plan. Pillar number 2 is all about personnel. Because let's be honest, a system is only as good as the people running it. This pillar makes sure that every single person, and that includes you, is properly trained, fully understands their specific duties, and really gets the critical importance of their role in protecting patient safety. Next up, premises and equipment. The physical environment is absolutely critical here. This means facilities have to be secure, clean, and kept within very precise temperature ranges. And every piece of equipment, from the tiniest data logger to the biggest refrigerated truck, has to be proven fit for purpose through regular maintenance and calibration.
And that brings us to Pillar 4, documentation. You've probably heard the saying, if it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. Well, in the world of GDP, that is the golden rule. Meticulous records and super clear standard operating procedures, or SOPs, are essential. They create a complete data trail for every product, which is vital for audits, for traceability, and for handling recalls.
And finally, we have transportation. It's so important to remember that the rules for safe storage don't just stop at the warehouse door. This pillar makes sure that whether a product is on a truck, a plane, or a ship, its required conditions are maintained, protecting it from damage, theft, and temperature changes the whole way.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. It is absolutely crucial to understand that GDP isn't just some local rule or suggestion. It represents a unified global commitment to patient safety.
Now, this table here is just a small snapshot, but the message is powerful. Whether it's the TGA down in Australia or the FDA in the United States, regulatory bodies all over the world have adopted similar, robust GDP frameworks. And what this global harmony means is simple. No matter where a medicine is made or where it's going, its journey is protected by a shared promise to uphold the highest standards of patient safety.
So, as you get started with your training, I want you to remember this. GDP is not just a checklist of procedures. It's a professional commitment. It's a global mission. The knowledge that you gain and the diligence that you apply, those are the very things that safeguard the integrity of medicine and ultimately protect the health of patients everywhere.